Well, hey you guys, it's Catherine from CatherinePillar.com, and you guys tell me that you like when I keep it real, so today we're getting really real. I'm just home from exercise class. I didn't get to stamp this weekend. A lot of times I save my video making it for the weekends, and you know, when the kids are kind of hanging out, doing their things, doing their little activities, I find some little pocket of quiet time in there at some point to stamp a card and make a video. This weekend went by and no one was having any of that. We were running from piano recital to dance classes and just didn't get stamping. Eli's coming in. He's about to knock my lights down. Come on in, Eli. Come on. And so I got home from exercise class and I'm totally inspired and I'm ready to go. Mojo's flowing, so forget it. I'm not showering. I'm just going. And then my stamp room has been taken over by Anna. She has a project for her Spanish class, and they each got a ceiling tile, and then they are taking a famous painting by, I'm not sure what kind of artist, Mexican or Spanish, I don't know. Whatever I say, she's probably gonna correct me, so I'm gonna say I don't really know what it is. And here is her painting. She's got paints all over the place, and she is cooking on this. It's awesome. I think she's doing such a good job, and it's such a cool project, right? So there's all the ceiling tiles in the classroom are made by previous students, and so now she'll have a little bit of herself left behind at the high school. I've got my tunes cranking, and I'm ready to stamp it. Well, now we got, let's see. Oh, FedEx is here. Got commercial on, dogs are barking, but I'm ready to stamp. It's just about the end of the school year, and you guys probably need thank you notes, just like I do. So I think we're gonna make some thank you notes today. Okay, my friends, I'm ready to roll. I've got some stamp of approval products, and if you don't have these, they will be available for individual sale later this summer. Just make sure you're on my newsletter list. Head over to CatherinePillar.com to get on if you're not already. And if you don't have them, but you still want to make what I'm showing you today, don't be afraid to substitute out some stamp sets. So I'm going to be using this flower right here, and I think if you have this Young at Heart stamp set, you could use these little graphic images as well. And the sentiment, I'm going to do thank you, and I'm sure if you don't have this, you have something like that in your stash. And then I'm going to use the GeoBuilders right here. So I've got my Misty all set up and ready to roll. I'm just going to pick that up. I'm putting my cardstock up at the top. Oh, you can't see. Up at the top and over one square. All right, I'm going to pick it up with my lid, and then I'm going to make sure that it's straight using that grid line. Okay, I'm gonna grab my Memento black ink pad. Whatever you got on hand is gonna work just fine. Gonna have to stamp this a couple times because I want it nice and dark black. I'm just using a half sheet of cardstock here. I think I might have moved this a little bit. Uh-oh. Yeah, I totally did. All right, I got an extra magnet and I was able to stamp it in the same place twice that time. Yay me. So I'm gonna do 8 cards. So as long as I've got this all set up and I need a ton of thank you notes right now, I may as well make 8, right? So I'm just gonna go through the process, inking, stamping, switch out my cardstock, ink, stamp, switch out my cardstock. And in no time, I'll have 8 card-based layers. Now, just in case there's any confusion, Eva labeled my paper cutter to make sure everybody knows that it's mine. I'm gonna cut the top layers. So I'm gonna start with a 5.5 inch cut. And then we have, I think the layer I want is 3, I think it's 3.5, but let me do 3 3/4 and check. Let's see, here is one of my bases. I'm just gonna score it and fold it. And let's see where this hits. No, I want more. I want more showing, so let's do 3.5. I'll cut these back down a little. I think 3.5 will be good. Yes, so the one thing I love about this stamp is that now it kind of looks like part of a chevron, doesn't it? Very cool. All right, I will just cut the rest of these. Now I'm gonna use my Misty to stamp these quickly. So I'm using the Thank and the You from the All About You stamp set. This was from the Stamp of Approval collection that just came out in April, so They will be available for individual sale later this summer. Like I said, if you're not on the wait list yet, make sure you head over to cpstampofapproval.com. Our next collection is going to come out in July. It's going to knock your socks off. It's incredible, if I do say so myself. So it'll only take me a minute to stamp all of these greetings. The Misty makes it so fast, doesn't it? A lot of people ask me where to get this. If you go to mysweetpetunia.com, they can hook you up there. Okay, now for the colorful part. We're gonna get inky and use this fun little stamp and this Color rainbow ink pad. So I could have used this guy right here if I wanted to. That would have been perfectly fine. Either way, I'm gonna start out just inking my stamp, and you'll notice when I'm inking, I'm kind of moving it, rotating it back and forth just a little bit. That is so that the center gets both colors mixed together and not having a harsh line down the center. That's what you want to do with a rainbow ink pad. Look at that, that is so awesome. My singing might bug some of you. If I were you, it would bug me, but when I get excited, that's what happens. I start singing. I don't know. I'm gonna do a lot of these different, I think. I'm gonna do different positions of these little flowers. Oh, I think they're so cute. The blues in this Color ink pad have me at hello. I love them. I am in love. All right, so I will just stamp each of these and I'll be back. I just wanted to pop in here before I move on because I did a whole bunch of them on this one, and I'm feeling like we need this little guy right in the center between some of them, and I'm just choosing that darkest color there so it coordinates and just to add a little fun to this card. So I've got 4 card fronts here ready to go, and I can't resist stepping them up just a little. You can keep them super plain like this and just adhere them to your card front. I need to get some new glue. All right, I grabbed a new glue, so now I'm cooking with gas. All right, so you can keep them as is, keep them simple. You can pizzazz them up a little. I can't resist pizzazzing a couple of them up. So I'll do that in a couple different ways so you can see how to step it up. So one is just a little sliver of black cardstock. It's, gosh, probably about an eighth of an inch, not a quarter, an eighth. All right, so I'm just gonna put it right down along the bottom, and I think that adds a really nice little element. All right, I've got my black ones laid down. Another thing I'm gonna try is the Decofoil adhesive pen. If you missed my video last week, I was playing with these last week, having a lot of fun and doing some cool things with it. So I'm just gonna, maybe I'll do 2 different ones with foil, and I'll use different colors of foil. So we're gonna let that dry. It'll just take a few minutes. I have 2 left, and I'm gonna use double-sided tape. This is 1/4 inch, and I'm just gonna lay it across the bottom of the card. And I'm gonna do that on these 2. Okay, so I'm taking the backing off of the tape, and I'm gonna take the Stars foil. I used it last week with, whoops. Well, I guess it was ready before I was. But I used this last week with GeoBuilders, and I did selective foiling. And that was a really, really fun card. You guys seem to really like that. And I did it with clear embossing powder. So if you want to hop over there and check that out, you can. I'll leave the link. You'll notice in some spots it wasn't kind of catching. So I just kind of take another spot of the foil and press it down, and there you go. It adhered. So that is the sticky tape. And then here is the one where I just did the adhesive pen. So I'm going to take my layer. I have the adhesive pen down on the bottom. I'm going to lay the Stars foil over the top, and then I'm going to run this through I'm going to run this through the Big Shot. What this does is it presses that design or the foil into the adhesive and makes it adhere, and then when you pull it off, check that out. Look at that gorgeous star foil. Loving it. Assembling these cards is going to be pretty easy. I'm just going to use a little liquid adhesive. This one I'm going to add to a black mat. This one is 3.5 by 5.5, just a little bit longer. And then we'll add this to the front of the card. So you can do a black layer behind, or you can skip that step, whatever you feel like. And we'll add that to the front of the card. And there's one. The next one I'm just going to adhere right to the front. And there's two. Now when you are making multiple cards, it's pretty much easiest to just lay them out, do all the glue, or maybe a handful of them at once. Do glue, 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 and then adhere, 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 and it goes by pretty quickly doing it that way. So I'm all done. I've got them completed. I ended up adding more of these to some of the cards. I had some little smudges. Someone asked me recently, when using the liquid glue, how do you not get it all over the place? Well, guess what? It's all over my fingers, and I got a little messy, so it's kind of on some of my cards. So I'm gonna grab my this little guy. What's this thing called? Adhesive remover, and I'm gonna rub off the excess adhesive wherever it laid, and then when I have spots I just kind of covered them up with some extra stamps. Here is one more that I made. This one I made with the chevron stamp and some rainbow flowers. I hope you guys are inspired. Thanks for coming along with me while I keep it real today. I know you can probably hear that radio in the background, but after that exercise class I went to today, I am a little hyped up, so music is inspiring me. Thanks for being here. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Now you can see right here it had a little stray piece of embossing powder, so it picked up some of that foil. You can just get a little, well, this is my pokey tool. You can get one of those and just scratch it off, or this is going to be a lovely place for our sentiment.